What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how to take control of situations where the man's initiating, the man's taking lead, the man's doing this and that, and you want to know how to either slow it down or get some power out of it, whatever, okay? Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. If you want to work with yours truly, links are down in the description. Skype, email, phone, all that. And if you want to follow my other channel where I go live very, very often in a closed niche group of us, where it's fun as hell. I was live for 5 hours today, actually. Click the link below, the link to my other channel. Just subscribe, okay? So, here's the thing. A common trend I see with women is they tell me, well, Elliot, it wasn't me moving fast. It wasn't me doing this. It was the guy. He was the one initiating. He was the one reaching out. He was the one texting and calling and saying all these things, the good morning, and who wanted me to come over and begged me to go on this trip with him, yada, yada, yada. It's him. I know it is. I know. Guys are supposed to invest their resources in you, okay? In the beginning, they always do. For why, I don't know when they change their mind a month down the road, but they are, okay? So here's what I tell women. You always want the man to invest in you. You always want the man to initiate. You always actually want the man to kind of do this stuff. Now, whether it's a red flag or not, or whether it's an emotionally available man who's investing too much and then realizes, oh shit, whatever, you find that out. You're going to find that out, right? And it's your job to kind of do your detective work and put the pieces together and figure it out. But either way, whether it's a healthy man or unhealthy ego man, men are going to do it for the most part to begin with. And that's because they want to win you over, right? And the way the process, I hate to call it a transaction, but the way the transaction should work is the woman needs to come from a place of value, of scarcity, okay? And the guy sees her, and he is supposed to invest his resources as a sense of currency, think of it like this, as a sense of currency to peel back the curtain to see where she stands with him, okay? So a man is going to invest his resources, time, energy, effort, money, and all that kind of stuff to slowly either win her over, okay, or to see where he stands with her. Now, the problem is that a lot of women tend to go more emotional on this aspect, and when the guy goes, all mushy, lovey-dovey and all this stuff in the beginning, initiates, and the good nights, the good morning text, she goes along with it very fast, 0 to 100, and because of this, a man doesn't have to invest as much or as long or as needed, just a deeper or a deeper amount of investment in her. He doesn't need to. And when that happens and you tend to go with it as fast as you go, and things like that, you're screwing your chances up, because your job, he's supposed to invest the resources, he's supposed to take lead as the masculine, you're supposed to control the pace though. If you don't control the pace, so that's the answer there. If you don't control the pace, ladies, then the man is going to take you for granted. It's always going to come back down to that. It's always going to come back to gratitude or taking you for granted and scarcity. It's okay for a man to invest heavily in you. Now again, like I said, sometimes it is a red flag when a guy does. So you kind of have to play the role of detective and figure out, why in the fuck is this guy investing so much so early on, so soon, okay? But it's not always a bad thing. Let the guy do it. If he's doing it consistently, if he's doing it over a long period of time, and it's something sustainable, and again, you're doing your detective work, and you're like, okay, he's not newly single. He's not one of these guys who hasn't had a relationship in the last 8 years. Whatever. He's not recently divorced. He doesn't have all these issues. Blah blah blah. Okay, well, sure. Then let the guy do his thing. It is your job to control the pace, though. And what women don't understand is that even though he creates the context by moving forward and doing all these things, how you react to it. Okay, so women create the context in two ways too. It's how you react to it, and it's your eager / willingness or your availability to it, right? So another example, I guess, is pacing. Another way of putting it is pacing. So ladies, by your reaction to it and by your availability to it, you are creating that context. You control context by pacing. Going back to what I said, you have to think of it as a man is supposed to invest his resources in you to see where he stands with you. It is a form of currency. Now, it's not always going to stay like that. Listen, a man's not going to chase a woman forever. I always say a man has to chase a woman, and then a woman gets attracted to the man, and if he's a good guy, it should start balancing out, right? With the woman chasing a little more than the man, because he's in his masculine, right? But he should never lead her on at, when it gets to that point. He should never lead her on. He should provide her with the validation, the security, the resources, so she doesn't have to second guess, oh my God, am I investing too much? Am I doing too much? What if I start doing this and he starts pulling away, starts playing these games? It shouldn't get to that point, okay? Later on. That's why I always say foundation is key, the fundamentals. Two healthy people create a healthy relationship. So with that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care. Don't get the coronavirus, and peace.